Hi guys, Brain here, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be giving you a wonderful DBD resource that's going to help you do so many things in this game, like have a good idea of what perks are being used, have your own perk roulettes, see what perks are tied to which characters, how many killers are being used, and what is the killer usage across the board for the game. Whole lots of stuff. The place to go for this is Nightlight. Nightlight is a stat tracker for Dead by Daylight that gives you a good idea of so many different info tidbits like the ones I just mentioned, and is a very, very wonderful resource. I've used this website for a really long time to keep track of the things that I want to know about Dead by Daylight and its general landscape and killer use, perk use, etc. The only issue with this site is that it is self-reported, so it's kind of like Wikipedia in the sense that, yes, it does give you a good general idea of what's going on with the subject matter at hand, but you got to keep in mind that this stuff can be edited by people who aren't reputable. It's not just hard stats. It is reported, self-reported by the people, so you got to be careful. But like with Wikipedia, Wikipedia is still a good way to get a summary or get a general idea of a subject before you start going into more hardline sources that are actually more reputable. So let's take a look at some of the things you can do in Nightlight. My favorite page is the most used survivor and killer perks. If you've seen this page has been used on the channel before, and I like to look at this a lot to get a good idea of what perks are quote-unquote meta right now for both sides and what is being brought to death. You'll actually be surprised to see here that barbecue and chili still, even before and after the mid chapter, still is the most used killer perk in the game. It seems that info really was useful, really was useful. Also, windows of opportunity is a surprising top. Prove thyself. Doesn't surprise me as the top, especially with the increased gen speeds, and look at the top of the killer rank being mostly slowdowns. That doesn't surprise me at all that prove thyself is that high. Also, with the absence of Dead Hard. Dead Hard used to be up here. Dead Hard used to be up here at the top. Dead Hard used to be the highest, most used perk in this entire category, and it used to be by a whopping 20% higher. So we had like the next second best one be like 20%, and Dead Hard was at like 40% before this, which was wild, absolutely wild. But now Dead Hard shifted all the way down here, and it seems like people like Lithe and almost Sprint Burst more than Dead Hard nowadays, so that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I love this page because it helps me get a general idea of like what people are bringing generally into matches and what people enjoy the most in terms of being brought. If you're wondering what the coloring means, the pink is like the most used, and it goes all the way down purple, down to green, down to yellow, obviously being the least used. You can also go into a specific perk to learn more information about it. You can learn its exact description, changes that have been made from it, which character it comes from, which patch it was added, even the usage over time. Since this has been a self-reported thing, they've kept track of that forever. So you can look all the way through the usage of the history that this website has been up. So you can look at how much it's been used over time. Also, you can see perks that it's commonly used with and the common builds that are brought with it. Obviously, Lethal Pursuer is awesome with this because now Lethal Pursuer kind of has a open-handed effect to it where it extends aura reading, not the range, but the duration. So you can see the kind of what they're bringing it with, and it just gives a lot of wonderful statistics that's really awesome and really helpful. Another cool part of this is, like I mentioned at the very beginning of the video, you can see the killer pick rate. There's no survivor pick rate yet because, well, they're mostly just skins, so it doesn't really matter too much in the grand scheme of things, but it would be interesting to see in the purpose of like who they're making cosmetics for and stuff and that sort of thing. But they do have the killer pick rate, and Huntress is the most played character in the game according to them. Legion doesn't surprise me, especially since a lot of the new slowdown adjustments really, synergize well with Legion's kit. Blight doesn't surprise me, one of the best characters in the game, as well as having a tome currently. Nurse, the best character in the game, and kind of like the hot button topic for like this character should probably be nerfed because they're way too strong right now. So a lot of people gravitate towards the strongest thing. Nemesis, probably the easiest to play anti-chase killer in the game. Makes a lot of sense there. Wraith, probably the easiest to play like stealth M1 killer in the game. Makes a lot of sense. So you could look at this and see who is being played more often and can see very poignantly who's above average, which is very awesome. And I love this stat. This is the thing I've been checking lately. I check the perk and builds a lot. That's like my favorite thing to do, but this is one I've been had attention to lately, is like the killer pick rate. Also, if you like to do random builds, you can go to this build challenge tab, and it will just give you a random build for either killer or survivor. You have both here, so you can just roll this anytime you want. So like a lot of sites kind of dedicate their entire website to having one of these like perk randomizer things. This website does both and a lot more but it does have this over here. if you want to run that as well. So yeah. In addition to being able to see perk usage and perk stats, you also have an entire comprehensive perk list, both of killer and survivor. So you can look up literally any perk in the game at your leisure, including the ones that have not even released yet and the ones that are in PTB, all the way through. And once again, like we showed earlier, you can click into them themselves and learn more. But it does show every single one of the current perks, which is really, really helpful. So yeah, that is Nightlight. It's a very, very helpful and wonderful DBD resource for learning what is generally happening out there in the DBD community in terms of perk usage, character usage, etc. But do keep in mind this caveat that it is self-reported, so treat it more like a summary rather than intrinsic truth because of that self-reporting. Kind of like Wikipedia. Wikipedia helps you get a general idea of what's going on, but you should look more into further sources if you want concrete truth. Yeah, hopefully you find this useful, friends. This is a resource I've used for a really long time, and hopefully you like it too. But other than that, that's gonna be it for today's video, friends. Hopefully this is helpful to you, but if it's not, I don't know. I can't help you. I can't make decisions for you. I'm just somebody who makes internet videos. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in tomorrow's video. But if I don't, I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.